snap. We back in here. It's your boy, mgthefuture. Thursday, January 4th. 4th? The hell am I talking about? Thursday, January 1st. What is the 4th? That's probably an important day. Was that Sunday? January 1st, Thursday, 2026. It's your boy, mgthefuture, and thank you for joining me on my channel today. Let's get the little intro song going. They're probably going to hit me with a copyright ding, but I feel like bringing the vibes back, man. This was a vibe back in 2023, man. Let's do it again, part 3. Shout out to the chat in the future. Shout out to all the likes and comments and subscribes we'll get, hopefully. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna get chat window. Awesome.
Got no friends to lose. I ain't got no bench to cruise. Awesome. I just got some shit to move. And by the time I do it, go. Act like they was with it all along and rap for you. Hope you hate to suck a dick and die fucking to new city, new you. What it be?
And we got the MIDI controller. I'm
like a hooker, ain't a hooker if it's free, right? We've been going at it for like 3 nights.
Hey.
This week gon' make it feel right.
Fuck fast. Hopefully everything good with y'all. We got light. We got air. We got Nexus. We have a Mortar drum kits. No, what is that? There you go. I'm gonna pull out Scalar.
Got the lean liquor, got a thing for strippers. Poppin' been at the bin, screaming free my niggas. Made a scene, I'm just trying to chill out. Main chick tripping, like what you doing still out?
Shit.
So that ace to the face, took my hold of the mercy, and got straight to the chase. If wifey call, I'm a curber, shorty fall, I'm a herder. I catch bodies, no feelings. She drinking the pain away, smoke this for the healing. Oh. Tell me nothing, I don't give a fuck. Puff, pass, know the routine. If you ain't getting money, then you ain't on my team.
Where's my phone at? I had a phone, I know. Oh no. There it is. Peace, man. Squad. Davey J. Peace of God. Happy New Year. I know I'm finna cook up some crazy stuff. Lord willing, man. Lord willing, bro. That was Amir Obi, Drugs and Cameron. We have the brother Davey J. Cook up some crazy stuff that we're in. But I could find out. I mean, it ain't gonna take too much of anything, but it's just. Shouts to the brother. Say, hey yo, Ace, yo, hey yo, hey yo. Let's drag Scalar in there real quick. We got Kakondo in the building. We got Greg Johnson. I'm glad you brought this song back in 2026. Come on now. Shout out to Amir Obi. If I can hear it, that'd be awesome. Cool. We still got Link. Yo. Nice. Make sure we don't play that shit like an old jazz musician. But yeah, the flow and the energy and everything of like how music has been for the past year or so. They've been trying different rhythms, you know, with like drill, trap, and all the versions in between it. chord book, man. We still got chord progressions. Worst come to worst. Worst come to worst. Terran Arts in the building. Yo. What's a liar? Where's Nexus? Why are they playing with me? They don't want me to use Nexus. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. We ain't got to use Nexus. I got other stories to tell. The D50. Then you put this little rack on it. Oh my God, watch what happens. Watch what happens. I got the keyboard rack. I do. How you guys doing though? Y'all didn't party too hard? Y'all didn't party too hard or drink too hard, did you? Lord have mercy. My CPU was like, don't worry about it. We eat that for breakfast. 9%, no problem. That's some old school R&B gospel, boy. I don't remember that. I done did it. Yeah. But I don't play in that key, so there we have that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Are we supposed to drag it down? Wait, who's recording? I hate when you do that. Why would I do that? I wasn't doing that. Why are you not loop recording? What's up with you? What, are you trying to fight? You trying to fight? What the hell going on? Fold it. Command you it. Why my favorite one? Why my first one ain't never worked? Come on now. What's that? What's that weak ass crank? What is that? What is that? Why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? It's actually Jodeci. Ain't that the funny thing about it? Like those Force MD chords, those Chris Brown chords, those Jodeci chords. This is all, I think, this all like code word Teddy Riley chords, really. But the church at that time, I guess the early 80s. Shout out to For Sale 313 says scalar bound deck. Come on now, I got something working. The 80s R&B chords are too smooth. Hello everyone. Stay learning and working hard. Never give up on your goals. Come on, dog. Shogun L, we in the building. Tyrone Sell is still alive and that is still the same as Just a New Day doing it. Roger, I'm not giving up. Force MD. Show Gucci in the building. We out here. They won't give me my first chord though, so I don't know the hell I'm gonna do with that. All you gotta do is that. Yeah, easy. One more damn time. The hell wrong with this thing? Hey, this is the sound I got. Fuck it. What is that? Where's the panic at? Loop it though. On the loop it though. That's how you do it. You said the Captain Taylors, Tyrone Sellers. Yeah, we alright, bro. Now, never give up. We don't know what that's about. Where's my compressor? That's how you push it back to the back of the Maybach, but shit. I love this channel strip shit. But this compressor ain't compressing. What the hell going on? This is the one Serb Jania uses. The Big White Girl Records. Low key though. He started with black people. I think Darnell Jones was his first, well, not his first, but one of his first big records. Where I Wanna Be. Mixed in the box and Pro Tools. Oops. Orange clip helps. My clipper don't work on this damn computer. None of the damn Aquarius installer things work on this damn computer. And that might be a saving grace, man, because that shit's a bitch sometimes. We can make the whole beat with Scalar, can't we? I think Scalar does bass too. Let's see. Let's waste my time. Let's duplicate this. Let's mute that. Let's name this accordingly. Let's find out what that was called. Because once you bounce it in place, it forgets where it comes from. Alright, so right click, bounce in place. What's the shortcut for that? Bounce that ass. Doesn't have a shortcut. So there's no sound? Why is there no sound? Every time I bounce, it does that. Let me see something. How about now? Because I'm up right now. Hey. How about now? Are we good? Let me know. I need a 3 in the chat. Thank you for clearing that up for me. The brother, Greg Johnson, says, will this be the year for the return of bridges in music? You know what? I don't know. It's not a bad question. It's not a bad thought at all. I'm about to get to it in a second. I'm just trying to think, like, why is this not playing? I changed the sound. So Bridges tells us people are singing. So we're trying to figure out, do we think people will be singing next year? What is that? I don't fucking think so. It's trying, but it's not trying hard enough. Very interesting. It feels like it's not in the same key, though. I don't understand nothing about human life or science here. That's wild. But Bridges means someone can sing, bro. You gotta have like hella writers, like people who really love writing. And these songs that they put out today are more for like the 30-second clip in the background of a reel or a moment. They make momentary music. Like really good intros, basically. If you can catch them in that first 30 seconds of your songwriting, then you got it. Why go out of key like that? That's halfway it. Was it octave? That's a better tone, but wrong pattern. It was my side 3, Tyrone Sellers, so shit, we good. Why? What is that? Why? Why? We're doing chord notes. Fuck that shit. Why? Why me? That ugly ass diminished chord, or augmented chord, bro. Everything else perfect. We might be there. compressor compressing, bro. Same story. Let's see what it does with bass. How low can y'all go? But yeah, I hope R&B comes back, bro. I hope people start writing and singing and taking love seriously. It would help the vibes at least. I mean, outside, on the ride. But everything is so, I can't even explain it. I think we're it's hyper novelty, but we're going through hyper consumption. I've noticed, like when you doom scroll or you look at channels on the television. Music used to be that thing that make you come back though. And you even notice like with like amateur content creators, they'll use those same 10-pack of songs you see always going viral in the background. And you only hear pieces of it. So you don't actually hear the whole song. You don't stop the video. You don't stop the doom scroll and go, hey, let me plug my Bluetooth speaker on and jam out to this. And I mean, that makes sense because they're not making music anymore at the moment for you to jam out to in those commercial situations. Then you have the unlimited amount of AI people and the unlimiteder amount of people who release music independently, various qualities, skill levels, you know the story. And they have a discovery problem. Or they're not trying hard enough to build their own fan base and they're waiting for the magic to happen. And the magic doesn't happen unless you're doing something. So you have all different skill levels of people, but then you have all types of different quality levels of music, and it's almost made it unimportant. Like whether the person makes the beat on Fruity Loops on their phone, an MPC, or a keyboard, like in today's market, it's like, what difference does that make in terms of access to opportunity? Everyone has the same kind of opportunity. Make some type of visual, upload the song, and post it. And hopefully Instagram gives you its mandatory 200 or 300 views. And then you game the algorithm because that's what everyone else is doing, which is going to change the tone and pattern of everyone else that doesn't know. And then you're kind of just stuck, chasing these people. And that's usually how most people are going to talk about this and approach this because it worked for a while until like 2018 or so. Now people got to figure out the biggest problem. Well, if no one cares and no one gives a fuck, and more importantly, no one's paying us for either. The people who say they love music, remember, millions of tickets, platinum records, concerts. You'd think you'd be waiting for them to say, hey, I don't like this product no more. I want something better, or I need something else. What do people do instead? Spotify wrapped up. All the songs you've seen for the last 10 Spotify wrapped up. But those people don't love music. Mainstream music or pop culture was used as a talking place. And what they were doing was they're hanging outside and they know the music that they're playing outside, the clubs, the events, the brunches, the restaurants, strip clubs, and everyone calls in and requests it, and that's why it's hot. We don't have that. We don't get a chance to experience that phenomenon no more. And I don't even think it's the music fault. I haven't heard no music that ought to have done that, so there's that. But it doesn't mean that music doesn't exist. It just doesn't reach that level because that's not how we're finding or discovering shit anymore. Like, given unlimited talent, time, and opportunity, I don't think they can get people to care either. I mean, ain't that the problem with Nicki Minaj? Her politics and her personal choices to get out of her personal situations turned her fan base, the Barbs, against her. So I understand something. Even Drake, he's postponed his would-be magnus opus album. And he blamed, just like Elon Musk, he blamed his son. Oh, my son lost the flash drive. Like, you niggas ain't got cloud? You had one hard drive, and there was just one flash drive. And that's the only place between the studio, Cubase, and Pro Tools rig where this file is. Cut it the fuck out, King. So, nervous, off the Kendrick Lamar. Was it this time last year, or was it further back? However that fucking played out. Kendrick Lamar up until the Super Bowl, right? That's February. So from the Super Bowl until now, Drake has been like, I want to hang out with the streamers. And that's like down, bottom of the barrel attention farming for superstars. For the streamers, it benefits them. Oh, yeah, Drake, or yeah, this guy. For the guy that they're streaming with, who the hell is this nigga you streaming with? You know what I'm saying? So as long as that's a dynamic, it's going to cheapen and devalue whatever it means to be mainstream. Which just tells me mainstream industry of music is broken. Now, if that is the truth, and your biggest artist signed to $100 million, whatever the fuck it was, can't get the nerve to drop a project and fear that it'll flop more than, any other reason, then you have a very unique fucking problem in your country. And I would say, what about the other countries? K-pops, J-pops, and all these guys. You don't even hear ours sitting, I guess, for the last, since the pandemic. So this is post-pandemic rules, You're not just settling for what you can reach on the shelf with your mask on. People want more. People want something genuine. People want depth. And it's unfortunate because the people that they've been picking up for the past 10 years do not represent that. They represent an idea, a group, a catalyst, a subgroup. The kids reverse engineered it, right? It's not real, though. Those love songs was real. Them niggas was really talking on the phone and voicemails between studio sessions with their baby mamas and shit, going through shit. These kids don't have the type of pride and shame and all those type of gifts of sociology to reflect on, even and to write the songs. It's scary. It's very scary. Even like Tank and all of them, like these old writers and these people who can do harmonies and stacks and layers. And why the fuck won't they do it? Everyone's looking for a bag first. And that's a sad pace. But I understand it though, rent and shit. But if everyone's looking for a bag first to do the cool thing, and they're not practicing or constantly working on the cool thing that first got them in that place, then what are we talking about? And you want to make a change on the thing that we're doing, then you need to kind of be fucking always doing it. And I'm talking about for people who already made money and, already got the who gives a fuck out the way. But after a while, you're like, well, what about 2007? What about 2017? They're using the data still is what I'm saying. They know that people are hyper nostalgia maxing right now. Their little social media manager or their analytics guy. You know how this coded language is. Following the Joneses with Excel charts. The Joneses is now as a fucking algorithm. How's that going to dictate art? It never did. So no artist development, no A&Rs, no superstar producers. You just saw Sunny Digital, where he had like I don't want to call it an insurance fraud scheme, but it seems like it, considering how cleanly his studio is robbed of keyboards only. And but imagine a reality in which that organically really happened and people, evil, fucking stupid, loser ass people, stole his keyboards. And he knows who they are in terms of opportunity advantage. He ain't got shit going on besides nigger drama. I find that to be very interesting. No direction. Because they're using the direction of where's to become a master or something where you can't afford to live off of it. That's stupid. Well, fundamentally, where's the money at? Not even in the future, because I don't think we know. These data centers haven't been proven yet, but where's the money at? You gotta ask that logically. Son of a bitch. I'll tell you where the money's at. 50% of the money in circulation in the United States is in the hands or the accounts of the boomers. They are the biggest financial block of citizenry. Okay, our parents. So if you're a betting man, since they're on the internet now, they weren't always, you would be trying to figure out how to reverse engineer their pocketbook. So if you're making music for anybody, and you need a true 1,000 fans of anybody, it's probably going to be people over 50 and 60. Little kids don't buy nothing. Our generation is trying to live. And the rich people are 20 years older than us. And we're getting older too, right? And not all the people older than me still doing it too. Like your peers, I guess. You have to figure out how to tap into their pockets. They have to fund these projects. Not because like age or nothing. It's because they have the money. And that's how it's always been. Back in the day, the streets, the drug dealers, they had the money. Well, right now, grandma has the money. So you gotta get grandma to depart from her ways, from her gambling and her bingo nights, and get her to, to drop the $50, $100, or whatever it is in the thing that's music related. If the old people don't invest into the music industry, there isn't one. They ain't passing down nothing to me. The boomers grandfathered in Gen X. That was the last time we had like a super producer era. You gotta look at it per age. And that was it. Clive Davis and all of them, that was it. That was it. Babyface just retired and sold a studio in Los Angeles or Hollywood. That's it. So unless there's a lot of rich crypto bro, millennial bros that are like flavor and in the community, or even in EDM and stuff, like out here. Supposed to be EDM heaven out here. I cannot tell. I know they have events here, but who's really spending money? You gotta find out where the money at. And then create the soundtrack around that. Shout out to Jonathan Lee, Mr. Now, JPX, Harut on the track. Davey J says, in most cases, people aren't genuine. They're just trying to ride off the blueprint so they get the benefits and resources. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, I hope we come to terms with that in 2026, understanding what this is. See, y'all make me go from Ableton to the goddamn whiteboard. But maybe that's what it's still the wrong thing, but I'll live. Ableton don't want me to live, bro. That's what I get for using all these cool ass chords, though. You gotta play it by hand. I need to really learn that skill set and just look at it and play it. Fuck all that other extra shit. I don't fucking know if I need that. Fuck, I just don't fucking do the thing that eyes do. Haha. Kobe. No, let's make it a little grimier. Holla. Alright. Let's start there. You said something about something. I don't know what y'all was talking about. Y'all said my brother was like, oh, duh, follow the money. You gotta follow the cash, my friend. Always have, always will. And you have to understand the reason why. It's because it's the United States. But just on the eco side of things, and then you're trying to figure out how to do that through the arts, or in this case, the music industry that currently is on hiatus. But it's important that we do industry and not music. Music is always being made. It's not always being listened to, though. The music industry is supposed to help your song get listened to. So those are two different issues. We're at an interesting part in life where everyone can make music. So making music is now cheap-ish. So the novelty of making music is no longer the novelty of making music. So back in the day, on Prince, you have a lot of competition. 50 Cent, Jay-Z, you can't name 12 of those. But today, you can name everyone, or you don't. Kenny Mason type beat, right? Man, there's nothing wrong with that, because the more people you have do something, I mean, how many different types of things are all the people who like the same things going to make anyway? They're all listening to the same shit. So they're going to make the same things eventually, but you're going to notice it more, like we do now. So everybody can make music, and it's cheap. That's the problem with everything. But you gotta remember, you gotta filter this through economics and not through creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to do these years ago. They called them APDs, audio producer discussions. And I kind of alluded to this timeline a long time ago. So it's weird to see me doing it again in 2026. Let me put that up here for the future AI robot screenshot they'll find. So everyone can make music and it's cheap. And then you got the AI, which doesn't kill everybody, but it kills novelty. You understand? So it's kind of like one of those things now, unlike a plumber, where there's still not a whole bunch of plumbers out here. So there's still a lot of money, lion share, new developments being built all the time. If you're plumbing in a city that's thriving or rebuild, always be there, whereas AI plumbers would make it so big of a deal. So music took away novelty, thus music is no longer a big deal. Now, we're not talking about us, we're talking to the marketplace. It's all marketplace talk. You lose all the emotionalism and dreams and meritocracy, please. Marketplace logic is totally different, but it's very parallel and comparable to your favorite drum kits or VSTs. You got to use your marketplace logic going forward. I mean, always, but going forward, because everyone can do this, you have to think about what you're creating, and then you got to think about the time you're using too, man. If you know, if you're in a industry. So one more time, bring it all the way back. No one out here gonna give a fuck more about music than you. So just get that out the way. Ain't no one gonna be more romantic about what we do than us. And people who do it cheap, who do it for free, they're not gonna. I think I'm one of the first people to use Midjourney and put myself in the graphics years ago. And now it's a commonplace thing. You're seeing people get more familiar with it. And just coming from that background, as a person who already saw that play out and giving a fuck about it, it's like, oh yeah, I did it way back then. And it was cool at first. I put myself in Al Andalusia. I put me in a house in Hollywood. I put myself in a sports car. Like, vision board be damned. But after that, it was kind of like, I know where it is if I need it. Now when I see I would use it. I'm not using it to the level that I ought to use it. But I know where that box is. And it's over there. And I'm not. If I keep making music, I know I'm going to need it. So at some point in the future, I'll revisit that, max it out again, use it for that idea, and then I'll go back to what I'm passionate about. And that's it. But now you got to think about everybody else. They look at music like that. Like, oh, I learned how to pick a kit. Oh, I learned how to do this and move this and arrange this and master with AI or something. And it's out there. And look, you can really type in your phone, not my phone. You type in your phone, my name come up, and you can hear my song. And then it's like, cool, you made a song. And ain't nothing wrong with that, by the way. But that mind and that person in that group, where's it go from there? If it's not like a bona fide emotional resonant hit and they're like, oh my God, I got to call and do this and do that, and you got to make more. If that's not the next step in that conversation, then it's just like, all right, they know where to go to hear a song from Jeff, and Jeff knows where to go to click on the things to get a song. You know what I'm saying? It's an experience now. It's like going to the mall, you know what I'm saying? Build-A-Bear or some shit like that. AI has made everything Build-A-Bear, in fact. You're paying for the final product, but it's all prefab. AI, templates, kits, you know. So you know what I'm saying? What are people really invested in this story? In the process of music and making the best music, or translating ideas and things they haven't heard yet and making it so that you can hear it? Or is it to say, go to YouTube, go to Spotify, that's my name, that's my song, cool story. I got X amount of monthly listeners. Who cares if they're bots? And yeah. What's next? What's next? For that person, for this whole generation of people that are going to come up like that across music and the industry and listening and streaming. In one day, I could produce, record, rap, mix, master, and have the song out on streaming. I've done it live, and I did it in a live stream, right? theoretically, I should have done that shit every day if I had the ideas and the carrot space to do such. And you know that as a creative, that's not how that works. But if you understand the model there. But I could only have done that if I spent charts and mixtapes and you know how the shit go. All of that put me there. Now, people heard about something and saw a story, and now they can download the app, hit the buttons, say the thing, or slow them down. No problems to solve outside of like, what did that video say do next? Understand? They already, in their chat GPT is going to give them an outline of what to do. So it's never, you know what I'm saying? It's never like, all right, it's going to take me 90 fucking days to figure out how to use this goddamn Serato sample, like in a cool way. Nah, I'm doing this shit today. I'm going to type a new prompt until it's good enough. Be good or be good at it. And then I'll go into the next step. And then 3 days or so, they'll have their shit out. What do they do on the 4th day? Make a YouTube channel and say, hey, I did. And I'm just talking about music production. Now click it over because it's the same pattern United States wide and the West, it seems. You do that with any form of content creation. You can do that shit about gamers. Look at gamers. Let's look at their games and their DLCs for us as new NPCs and plugins. Ain't they complaining about the same thing? This game came out already. Man, these sounds came out already. MSX Audio had these in the Machine 2.0. Oh, they're just doing microtransactions. You know, they're not even focusing on the actual storyline here. Oh, microtransactions. Now I get to unlock each new plugin 20 years after the plugin it's emulating that I already have. Like, you know, online, everyone's not playing the same. Everyone's not, you know what I'm saying? Producer community. Oh, everyone's not doing the same thing. It's like, where's that Discord at? Y'all still checking out Curtis King's Discord? Like, what's going on? Where's the other Discords? It's been years. Millions of songs uploaded. Well, we don't know millions of peers. And now you do that for everybody's story. Because you're an economy, attention-based economy. Everybody want to make money. Everybody want to get some idea started. Everybody want to create content to all degrees. So if everyone's trying to do something outside of their doom scrolling, then who has time to appreciate what you're doing? Most people don't have time to appreciate what they're doing. You probably don't have time to appreciate what the other 5 people you know in real life and online that have a thing that fits your model, right? And it's not personal. It's just not your thing. Just like their thing is not your thing. But everyone has a thing that they're trying to do to make everyone else's thing. And they're like, hey, where's everyone that's paying attention to me doing my thing? Exactly. It's a sad story. It's the end of social media 2 point whatever the fuck it is. That's all. It's MySpace for real. But it brought in so many more elements than just a regular website. It's everything that made MySpace tight is now dead. The music, the models, the dreams, getting in the top 8 on Diddy's list. Come on now. I was outside. Having the media outlets mention you, something adding you, all the cool, famous it people. And then you have the layer of talent and creative behind it. And then you have the layer of everyone trying to follow up. And you know what I'm saying? You know how it goes. It's a pyramid. And Kai Sanat. Where were they 10 years ago? That's not where the story going then. Where are any of the people from 10 years ago? Where did their story go? And why did it go that way? What fundamentally has changed? If everyone's on their phone all damn day. It's not like you can't get content on the phone. Everyone has content on the phone. It's not like we don't know what ads are. They always telling you how to sell an ad, but like, you know what I'm saying? You know who the influencers are. You know their email is in their bio. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, they can't do the thing. So now you have a different problem. It's quantum entangled the money though. I think people subconsciously know. I don't think they're talking about it yet. But when people say shit like, well, AI is going to take over everything, It's not about access and how many people can do the thing. Supply and demand. If everyone can do a thing, that's the problem. Then how much is the thing worth? So giving accessibility rights to something that used to be profitable industry, and then streamlining it, automating it, and giving ease of entry and access to everybody does what to the product itself? Where's the value at? The value then changed into the industries that allow that. So then all the investment would be into those things, technology. The money's in the technology. It's not in the creation. It's not in the artist. And it hasn't been for like 20 years. But we finally ran out of MySpace. Understand? Like, it's been going this direction with streaming services. And eventually it hits tech. And you've seen it the last decade. But what they've done is increased it piece by piece, module by module at a time. Speed, RAM, efficiency. And then turn that shit into its own, EA game store. Unlock this, buy this, add this, install this. As long as you can do that, there's transactions. You make a dope ass standalone that does something backwards from 1999 to 2009, it would, like 10 old heads would buy it. I'd be one of them. But then the $10,000 they get a day on the other one, they invested in the nostalgia, the vibe, the swing, or they investing in how they gonna get all these microtransactions. Look at all the producer content. I'm talking about for music industry producers, like people who had the money and the chances and opportunities and went in the studio, know the rest of the people that make music. It's weird that they don't talk to each other. But those guys, like they're my age or older, ain't nothing wrong with that. But I don't know how many times I need DJ Khalil to break down that he was influenced by Dr. Dre. We got new artists on album coming out today. Why are we talking about that? When we were asking them about that on Twitter and MySpace, nothing to say. People are late. The realization is late. The time, the goal, the peak era to do the right things at the right time is late. We've been talking about this shit for years. They're just doing it. It's late. Like, novelty is a bitch. Like, it's a good idea when it is. It's not a good idea forever. Versus the temporalness of humans reacting to it in exchange for goods, money, service, attention, whatever it is. Even if your whole motive operandi is that you want people to hear the music and then react emotionally to the music, you're still asking for a transaction. The game circled out all the subs, spinning down the toilet, a little bit of water left. And the only thing that's really going to be real or timeless in all of this is who gives a fuck enough about the stuff for other people to give a fuck about. So many people selling stuff on Temu and TikTok. Do the science. Yeah, so many people who can do the same thing. And they say it like there's unlimited clients. It's a weird game we're playing. Everyone's an entrepreneur. If everyone's doing it, then nobody's doing it. It'll seem like nobody's doing it if everyone's doing it. If everyone can make AI, in your head, you'd be like, there's at least 10,000 other people today who's going to wake up and try to make one of these trap beats. Doesn't mean they are. I barely see y'all post your shit around for an hour or two. Doesn't mean they're going to do it every hour or two, every day for the rest of this year. So, like, then maybe put an ad behind it, and then it's over. You've seen it over and over and over again. Everyone's trying to hack. Like, how do you get enough people to give a fuck? What the industry has been doing is trying to reverse that. What do people give a fuck about now? Right? How do you determine what people give a fuck about now? Trending data, what motherfuckers are talking about now. And then you get a report when it's all said and done, you add it all up. And then they make a product in response to something that's trending now. Doesn't make any sense. But they've been chasing that. It's trending. And then someone sees this. And they want to make a brand new VST. They're going to study Scalar and solve all the riddles they heard in this video. And maybe it'll take them 3 months with AI, right? By the time 3 months swing around between me and you and I, we're probably not going to be talking about Scalar 3 that damn much. But then you're going to see the ads and everyone's like, oh, this Scalar 3 thing, wow. but it's 3 months late. It's not a good idea no more. It's not a bad idea. They just learn how not to make bad ideas. But they're not good ideas. The good idea is you make that thing before I talk about Skillet. You have to make it before it's a good idea. You have to know what the good comes to those type of games. Music is the same. You're making music for how people feel or going to, right? If everyone's been listening to Drake and slowed down, down tempo, chill, lo-fi stuff, even when they're driving, XM lo-fi radio, and everything's down there, 60 to 80 beats per minute, and you want to make a club, a party joint, all this high energy, where do you slide that into their playlist? When in their life dictates to you that they're going to go party this weekend? You hear anybody talking about going to a party this weekend? So how you going to bring the party back and party music? You would have to start partying. You would have to get other people who want to party with you. And then you have to see like all the steps you're going to do is going to influence other people to follow it and do it too. That's greatness though. That's why I have that gift. It's useless unless I know timing. Like, oh, I'm going to come across this person. This is what they like. Let me focus in on that. Whereas if there's nothing quite like that, and it's like, oh, another day. Let me open up the laptop and make a thing. For what? For why? I'm learning something? I could try something new, but then what I'm going to do tomorrow? Just keep trying things? For who? Who asked me to try that? When you know all the beats that you get rid of are the ones you don't like anyway. So it's going to boil down to people. Your connection to people. Your music's connection to people, actually. But if your music doesn't have a connection to people yet, it's because you don't have a connection to people yet. So most people, especially younger people who are getting into this, younger especially, like you have to make sure when you outside, you outside with people who love music. That's the only way you're going to find your network, your tribe, your community, and your opportunities. Even people who don't know music, you need to be around people who love music. If you're a music person, people don't really love music. People really don't love doom scrolling. People really don't love social media, but here they are, right? And you see how, you see how mixed the results are. There's something stirring the pond above us, but you're not in control of it. So you have to, like, instead of trying to game it or break those rules, you have to make your own. You have to make your own game with your music. And I ain't talking about NFTs and cool ideas to sell the shit. I'm talking about getting people to give a fuck. Good as the most famous producer you know at a time like this. You are head to head with the industry, peers. You understand? Ain't gonna be no podcast, ain't gonna be no paywall. Shout out to BusyWorks. Ain't gonna be no course on how to figure this shit out. And I tell you, once you do figure it out, I wouldn't fucking tell nobody for years. Wait for them podcast reruns and you reflect back on when. It's up and it's stuck. No one got the magic touch. Ain't no Midas out here. This fucking Rob Sunny Digital. Like, come on, Atlanta, do better. Ain't no Midas touch. This, or, should I get this or Cubase? Well, really think about what we're talking about, nerds. We the only nerds talking about that. You don't understand how much time you got. It's amazing. Everyone else is going to be waiting for AI, bro. Waves can't do another Studio Vault 1977 EQ compressor emulator no more. It's over. That epoch. You know how they do it. That age. That digital age. It's over. It's over. It doesn't mean that everyone knows that though, or people now believe a thing about people who make music and what music is and streaming and fame and stuff. That zeitgeist will stay fixed in time for a few more years. But I'm telling you, as a creator and the people behind the screen or behind the music or behind the content, this ain't that no more. Your job's the easiest and hardest it's ever been. Hard to get people to give a fuck because it's hard to centralize location for them to see you reliably. And then why would they want to see you play music? You understand? You understand why we have like bad bitches in a music video? So people stick around and finish it. Like, what's your bad bitch in the music video? You gotta find your bad bitch in the music video. And everything that you do now. Because everything is now content. Shopping is content. Thinking is content. Telling that you're an incest baby. This is a very deep rabbit hole algorithm I've come across in. Peak voyeur. Peak curiosity. Hyper novelty. So if it's like Great Depression tactics or blah, 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 any other time period where things kind of happen like this, what do people do? They double down on basics. They try and get ahead financially. So it's like, oh, no matter what, we need toilet paper. And people figure out how to make and sell toilet paper. Like we're in kind of like in that type of economic trend. Core fundamental stuff that doesn't change with time or age. What is that? And then you adjust that musically. You know what does well no matter what year it is? House music. You know what's crazy about house music? That's what the only real big festivals and clubs that are left. And most of us don't even know about it. But house music's different. Those DJs have a scene. Like they actually throw a party. They're not producing records. They're throwing parties. You understand? Bad bitches, drugs, alcohol. That's the bad bitches in their music video. That new album, new song, mean there's new parties. And there's new rich bitches coming to these parties. House music though. Maybe you could do the same thing with trap and hip hop, but they talking about the streets is dead right now. Do the science on that shit. Speaking of which, trap music and everyone else, think about that. The people in Atlanta, the Gen Z, the younger people, and versus, I guess, us, the millennials, all talking about, the streets is dead. It's too much snitching, Young Thug, all this goofy shit. Wallow, all this shit that has occurred in the last year on a street level, right? Which is the hood people who have internet. On their level, they're saying to each other, the streets are dead. Right? And then you see the thing with the quarter zips and the matcha, right? Almost like it's a joke, but it isn't. There's a real effect on people. Meme, culture, keeping up with the Joneses, same story. So if everyone's getting out of that polarity, right? That the music brought on, because the music is why it lived. And the streets is dead because the music is dead. But that type of music and those type of streets are definitely gone. There's no soundtrack. So what would it profit a man to create your stuff around hoping that the industry for that lifestyle is going to meet you sometime in the future? What are we talking about? The streets is dead. The rappers in less than years have been synonymous with what the streets is. Little snapshots of everyone's streets. Florida streets, Texas streets, Atlanta streets, Memphis streets, that's the streets. And the streets is dead. Well, you understand? Ain't no one paying attention to it. No one want to hear that shit. And it's especially true in the music, right? If the streets is dead, then so is the music coming from the streets. So as a producer, you know what that means. I can be a little bit more abstract. I'm like, well, if people want to do the law of polarity thing and it's no longer street music, then what's the opposite? Oh, we need some more Soul Aquarians and some Jay Dillers and stuff. All right. R&B, love songs, bridges. I understand. Maybe. How long will that take? I don't know. But it started. They don't want to hear that shit no more. You understand? That's how you really start navigating the mastery of this shit. You understand? Music, the music you make, and society is quantumly entangled. Especially if you're trying to add I sell to the middle of the mix of it all. It's not even deep. It is though, if you've never thought about it that way. Your society is a call and response to the soundtrack of the music that you make. Well, everything that's associated with street niggas, including rap, and the type of music they made, we got short-term memory. So let's say since the pandemic. So I know, I don't think Sheck West is coming to any new homecoming reunions. He might go to some HBCU ones, but people ain't looking for that. People are not expecting it. The women are not either. This is where it gets really weird because you know how I am about sociology. I'm a nigologist. I'll go further than that for you if you're into the data points to consider. Like, all right, so what are women saying? Since women buy music. Do women still want the type of men that are reflective in the music that come out in the past 7 to 10 years? Where them artists at? Where them examples at? Where those role models at? And what would where would their music sound like if they were? It wouldn't sound like the ones in the trap. It wouldn't sound like Young Boy. No disrespect to him. I don't know too much about him, but interesting character. But there ain't no sister out here going through the nuclear winter of the wall trying to settle down with a young boy, is he? Or she? You got 4 years. Cat litter, wine subscriptions. Someone keep fucking leaving out the damn playlist. They don't drink wine without listening to something. So, what does that sound like? What does the inevitable sound like? What do people listen to when they're lonely? Is it the same shit they listen to when they're partying? What do people listen to when they're lost, disconnected, unplugged from the matrix, and trying to figure out, their tribe or whatever it is? What does that sound like? Because that's what time it is. And you notice there's no new music out. There's no new hits. No one is winning. Not even Taylor Swift. You understand? So we're not even doing a linear math problem musically no more. Like, oh, what's after the Dirty South? Oh, then maybe Texas, and after Texas, or maybe LA. Oh, New York. You haven't had a shot for 20 years. Like, you can kind of predict and surf regionally of what it should sound like next because it's linear. It followed a theme, a pattern. This one don't. Ain't no one making shit. That has never happened in fucking human history. There's psalms in the Bible, bro. Because everyone ain't tribal core, but the tribe of music people. It's the first time it's just been like bro, ever in human history, dog. Yeah, it's probably technology, AI, and some other shit or hyperconsumption. There's all kinds of reasons for it, but think about that. This is the craziest shit about everything is that this is the first time anything like this has ever happened. Where you have still got computers, still got Free Loops, I got all the best tools and plugins if we wanted to do something. And all of a sudden the party just kind of stopped. Or at least someone turned the music off. And that's like, oh shit, the party stopped. Who turned the music off? You know what I'm saying? We need to know. Monthly listeners don't tell me nothing. Who are these people? I never heard these people talk about these songs. Tell Jay-Z he was wrong. Numbers lie all along. So just like the Indians, we'll tell what you would do to the field is you burn it down, let it re-nitrogenize or whatever the fuck it is, re-enrich the soil. You skip a season or two with it. You just let it be. And then you go back years later or resume later and replant, and then you alternate. So the good news is if everything came to a standstill, we're in the middle of an alternation. Obviously, I don't think humanity can keep it that you're in the middle of. We're in the middle of a turnaround. Musically, industry, money-wise, system-wise, politics-wise, social-wise, men and women-wise. Like, grace be damned. Like a lot changed for no fucking reason. Just no other inputs. I've noticed something. I think humans need to zoom out of even this conversation real quick. Like from the pandemic until now, like a whole bunch of shit got shaken up when nothing was happening for real. Nothing unusual, I should say. But day by day, trend by trend, headline by headline, the vibe changed completely and the music stopped. So the silence is loud. Everything's ridiculous. It's like, hey, if it's time to act, it's time to act now. And it's like, act on what? What? Is it worth it? Go to the people who are not music people. People who go to school, get degrees, and excel in that vertical social hierarchy game they play. They're sitting in damn Teslas talking about for what? 6 figures, yeah, shit, but for me personally, for what? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that unplug out the matrix that fast. Don't sleep on it. Like for everyone to be like, yo, this is everything we were doing. Hip hop, hooray, ho, free. Like nothing came back to replace it. You know, when MySpace stopped, Twitter was already active. If this shit stopped right now, ain't nothing else. You understand? This is the first time that's happened in technology or with the internet where there's nothing trailblazing. Like this is the longest any platform has lasted, actually. People need gambling apps, you know what I'm saying? Like people ain't thinking about, like, especially if they ain't lived through that. Like, no, this is all first time for everything. This shit's supposed to have been fell off. And the only reason why it's hanging on is because nothing else has came up. So like it fell off years ago and then all the music stopped and they're like, all right, anytime now, Web 4.0. And people are like, I ain't wearing no fucking 3D glasses all day. Fuck you talking about? I got astigmatism anyway. What the fuck? We do a Wii universe? Like that's when we replace the fires, the narcissistic meltdowns, and the bad bitches? That's what. Like, you understand, you gotta zoom out of this shit. Go to the richest people who bet and have to bet and win to become the richest people to begin with. And they bets are losing. Like, how a nigga who rig a game, how the niggas who can rig a sport can't win the damn match? Rigging is implied, and they're not catching it. You know what I'm saying? They'll have no other sucker to pass the hot potato to. No one's spending in these dimensions. So when you zoom out, you have like, where else is spending going? What are people actually buying? What are companies or the rich people actually buying? That's more interesting, since they're the ones that create opportunities for all the not rich people. Obviously. So yeah, where are all the rich people going? You understand? You know all the rich people had the Happy New Year's just, 12 hours ago? They all went to the same fucking island. I don't know what the fuck it's called. My bad. It was some island. With a B in it, something. None we heard of, but maybe we have. What the fuck they doing out there? What they planning for the new year? We ain't got no content from out there? So the way of our economy was set up with all that venture capitalism and all that, come to America. Anybody, throw some money at this bitch. The government help you get rich. That, on top of that. So that whole 501c3, not-for-profit, federal funded, granted type of paradigm where the federal government is filling up space. It's occupying space by funding it. You understand? And you do these things. And it's normal as apple pie if you're born after the 60s. So no one questioned it, except for the Black Panthers. But you understand everything. We didn't listen. So we kept going with this game that we played. Now it's been 60 years since then. 1960, 2020, yeah. It's been 60 years of a whole different paradigm for us. Financially, economically, like where our opportunities lie. Most of our opportunities on our side lied in the federal government. Even the people who survive, Section 8 food stamps, that's all the federal government expanding into your household. We don't talk like that. We don't frame it that way. And it's sad, it's unfortunate. But if you do, when you zoom out again, you go, oh, That's what this was. The 90s in the conspiracy paradigm now. I'll zoom it. I'll file it down for everybody. The real issue with everything is that the music had stopped because people started to realize two things. A, that the federal government, in terms of money, because this is all money talk, the money itself is being funny because the people who print the money are absolutely corrupt. And all of a sudden that shit got real loud. Like, we've been hearing this our whole life. Pentagon been missing trillions. Wow. Like 9/11, let's wake up. Like, it's been happening. They just keep saying that quiet part out loud. Like, everything's corrupt. I even posted a story, the white boy from Pennsylvania tripping out. Like, every time you turn around, it was like bad news after bad news. Like, he was saying, people were saying, don't get caught up in that. That's a distraction from Charlie Kirk. And they're like, this is a distraction from that. And dude was like, all of it's a distraction from how bad it, it gets worse. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people have been arguing back and forth. It's 2026. We got to start this year understanding something fundamentally. The whole world, actually. The United States is just, everyone always has a flashlight on us, and it's quiet, so you can hear it. You can hear the light. Depending on how we react and respond to all of this is going to dictate how the rest of the West does. They're waiting for us. Y'all know that, right? Blame hip hop, but the world is waiting for us. How are we going to respond to all of the things? Thank God we do music. So just keep that in mind. It's corrupt above us. 2025 revealed all the corruption. Year of restriction, the snake. You saw it for what it was. People, masks fell off. Relationship dynamics changed. I'm just talking about locally and at work. You get to see shit for what it is. And of course it sucks. Like, oh shit, it's such a weird fucking year. These people fucking are weird. Fucking weird. It's strange. That was me. Nothing happened. Y'all buried. I ain't hear no one talking about it yet, but I'll say it for you. The sudden shift of things isn't the people. So this is law, universal law. It did not happen in that dimension. The only thing that fundamentally changed, and everyone willing for it no more. You don't have the energy to pretend it's not what it's always been. And then you come to acceptance like that's what it is, and that's what it's always been. And the only thing that changed is your awareness. That's the only thing that changed in the last year. Awareness. I don't even think it's mRNA for real. I know people who are not vaccinated, and they seem to be the strangest. It is what it is. But yeah, that we're in a whole different type of paradigm. And it has no soundtrack, and it's quiet, and everyone's like, what's next? What's the goal? What's the 2026 things? People are tired. People are frustrated. Other people worried about getting laid off. CIA and FBI was on a fucking roll, boy. Ain't that right? Ain't the CIA behind all the music industry? Federal informant visas? Rock Nation or something? Remember? You remember? Like, all that money and all that attention on this CIA program is why it was what it was. Not that we would have been any different, hip-hop, making music, rapping, freestyling, bullshit, like we always do. But in terms of it being mainstream, that was all federal government. You understand? Just say no to drugs. That's the federal government, but it's on your video games. It's all federal government funded shit, bro. Our whole fucking millennial stint. So if our quantum entangledness to feeling above water was correlated to federal spending, that makes sense. And now that the federal is shrinking, it has no money to spend, we're deflated. That makes extra sense. So we must be quantum entangled. You understand? Like, that shit was intense. The whole moment after that, it's like, fuck breaking a curse, my nigga. That summoned a demon. Theoretically, metaphorically. You understand? So that system behind that and everything else, that's the system that's been under all the controversy, I think, before the pandemic, actually. The United States has been insolvent for a long time. So all these federally funded music programs and entertainment programs, TV programs, look at MTV. Come on now. That's like the CIA saying we about to shut down. No, speaking of the devil, the FBI just shut down one of their buildings in DC. And yesterday was the last day for MTV. You understand something? I hope y'all understand something. Like, we've been socially engineered by the federal government. And it's the word. You can pick any word you want when you're making up shit and stealing shit from Indians. But they pick government. What does that word mean? It means mind control, doesn't it? Latin. Mind control is crowd control. You only need to control 100 monkeys. That's the game right there, boy. You got what, 300 million people? You only need like 30 million to be with the bullshit. Herd mentality. Joneses only has to be 10% of the population. The rest are going to follow. That's normal. That's why a lot of us go behind the scenes and do the music. Stay away from the people. I understand. But then you have a zoomed out insight about people too, because you're like that. Because of the music. You can hear the hi-hats. You can tell there's pads. You can break it down into 8 or more sounds in your head. Most range music, your brain developed way different. Your brain developed way different. Tell me I'm fucking lying. Your relationships with women are different because your brain worked different. Different rhythms in the different pockets. I can see the swing is different. Like I can break things down into more than one dimension now. It doesn't matter if I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I can see things in more than one dimension because I can hear sound in all the dimensions, at least within a stereo. You understand? So it's like that skill, that brain wiring picks up on the frequencies of people too. It's like, oh, I can tell this person's hiding some energy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I hear something low passed. There's something low passed in that sentence. I don't know what it is, but nigga, you got a Fetrix on this bitch. And I ain't playing games or tricks. Like, so why is there a Fetrix in this moment? Why is this in halftime? Why are you talking like that? Why did the energy just slow down? You understand? It's almost like being in a party and listening to the DJ fuck the mix up. When I'm dealing with people, I don't even know what the fuck that's called. They got synesthesia for sounds and light or something, but this shit is, I'm talking about my nervous system is rewired different now. My baseline gotta be in key, boy. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna take the extra steps, nigga. My baseline gotta be in key, dog. The foundation gotta be in key, dog. If that shit don't make sense, nothing makes sense. And that's in all dimensions now. For me, you know, we've been doing this shit. Well, I've been doing this shit for 25 fucking years. No one told him. When I signed up, I didn't sign up for this shit. I was trying to get placements, plaques, a nice sports car, and we was gonna figure out what the fuck we were supposed to do in our 30s. Missed that boat. But then, you know, rewired the way we feel and hear music. That's just frequency. Yeah. It's a gift in itself. That is a gift. To be able to hear the timbre between different sounds and angles, and like think of a hunter even. Like it's that sensibilities that's already hardwired into you actually. Like, oh, that was a footstep from 100 yards that way. Simulating that. You're simulating something. Your brain is simulating the very familiar pattern, but at a higher frequency. So everything else is a lower frequency, especially people. So you're like, oh, this song sucks. Think about it. You should like, if you journal and shit, I'm telling you, man. And you be reading words and ideas and memories of things, and you like, what does all this mean? What would that shit sound like in a fucking soundtrack? Like those moments and those decisions and what happened. Is that a good song or a bad song? I'm like, man, that song sucked. It don't get no further than that. It ain't gotta get deeper than that. When ain't nobody gotta figure out what went wrong or who did what, and ain't no morality, ain't no left, ain't no right. And what they for God? No, ain't none of that. Like, no, that song, this just wasn't it. Timberland wouldn't have played it for more than 5 seconds. Yeah. So yeah, you can feel what's up. You can tell. Like our problem, it's like, oh yeah, we trying to figure out what music to make or what technique or whatever the fuck. Ah, that's sharpening your sword shit. That ain't what the problem is though. The problem is with the people now and this new awareness, where the system or the federal system or the money printer system is kind of stuck, holding on for dear life, doesn't want to let go of its power. It could let go and replace it with something else, but it would lose power doing so. Like I said, it's the oldest metaphor. I was like, look, you always talk about God like, yo, to give you something else, but you're holding on to too much shit. So if you want something new, you have to let go of what you're holding on to. And that's how, that's the macro of everything going on in the West right now. These people in power have all the money you can fucking imagine. But their power, they're short-circuited. The corruption, the embezzling, the secret shit is fucking them up. So they know what to do. Cut off all of that damaged limb. But at the same time, that all those pieces down there that they would have to cut off is also, a feedback loop into them being in that position in the first place. So cutting off the corrupt tail cuts off the corrupt snake. Of corruption is worse. If it cuts off any of its corruption, it's cutting itself. The corruption came standard. It's out of hand. So if you fix corruption, you get rid of the whole fucking problem. Itself. I learned how to look at the United States concept as a narcissist. It's a narcissist. You gotta talk about people, colors, backgrounds. You just look at the system and what it produces. So if the United States is a narcissist, exposed, no more flying monkeys coming to us. No more Israeli bots really doing their things in the comments right now. Trump and Bubba, come on. Epstein, release the files. You understand? There's nothing on the flying monkey side that will flip those variables. So, narcs never take accountability. That's the problem that a lot of brothers have with women. How come women don't take accountability? You framed it wrong. How come narcissists don't take accountability? If you think it's a woman thing, you don't look at that woman, what she say and how she act, and you don't think about it as if she could have made a change. And you don't get stuck thinking about the past, thinking you can change these things because it's a woman thing. No. You're dealing with the wrong animal. You're the same animal or different beast, whatever Kanye said. Nah. Reframe everything, including the United States. You gotta look at it as a narcissistic bitch. As above, so below. That's the United States brand. All the problems you have with man, lately, there weren't problems in the 80s. Is the side effect of its grip on entertainment, education, and it's all nudging. It's all social engineering. And this is how it manifested. And you're waking up, you're snapping out of your little programs and your little dizzy spells about shit. Whether it's time-based or relationship-based or even with your damn parents. That's the saddest story of 2025. I'm used to boys and guys and sob stories with these hoes that don't be shit for real. But people falling out with their parents for real. Grown-ass people. We could talk in text message. But it's just enough is enough. Ain't that crazy? What did that do to music? What did that do to the function, the cookout, the family gathering? What did that do to things? Thanksgiving, Christmas. We just went through some of it. What the fuck that's supposed to sound like driving? We asked Marvin Gaye what the fuck going on. Again. You feel me? It's like that. If you can capture that energy, whatever the fuck is going on, and you can soundtrack that, that's it. You feel it already and translate it to sound. That's it. That's all anyone can do. You need an artist, I think, though, to change it to words. But you understand where I'm going with it. Like, that's the future. People need a solution to that feeling. They need to be adjusted from that pitch, that key, that vibration. That don't sound like 808s and hard snares. Fundamentally. So, we'll see. Hopefully. Fucking hopefully. I hope it changes. Like the turnaround, I mean. Where the wheel starts moving the other way. Or I hope it's this year. But if it's not. But it can be. You only need 100 monkeys. To understand where the fuck, you know, exactly where the frequency is. Like where everything is. That standstill that's happening. Even militarily. Everything's at a standstill, bro. I don't like that shit. I don't know. It don't make sense to me. Like, I got weapons, I got missiles, I got soldiers. I'm fucking you up tomorrow. Until you say, uncle, where the fuck they go to war for? Nah, we're gonna stretch this shit out. They got the war on a Netflix season pass. Like, next season in Venezuela, Trump actually hit a port. Stay subscribed. By March, we probably hit a hospital. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck is going on? I guess you can't false flag no more. Like, and no one needs you to. Whoever gave these people the crazy idea that the American people vote for war anyway. So why the fuck would you need a false flag or make an excuse to blow up somebody anyway? That's a lot of money and planning for something stupid that no one else could stop anyway. Narcissism. It's not about that. It's about how it looks. It's the same thing you see with narcissistic parents with kids, right? When they're with the kid in public and the kid makes them look like a good parent, energy high. But if you're one of them kids, you know how it is on the ride home when there's no witnesses. That's the United States in a nutshell. That's very good had very good propaganda. Hollywood, music industry, the movies, the TV shows. The only thing dangerous about the United States is all these black people killing each other. Since I was born. That ain't the story no more. There's only but so many mass shootings we can ignore. To bring in WWE. Like, yeah, I think that in real life, the federal government brought in WWE. Vince and his wife. What have they done for 30 years? Stage play? Stagecraft? Sports and entertainment? I know that's right. Yeah, it's all been sports and entertainment. So you understand, like, all right, so streaming fucked up radio and music, but your government is in the same exact category as sports and entertainment. Streaming fucked up that. Why you think, as long as he tweets and people retweeting and reacting to it, he's lit in these streets. But the moment he lost steam, once that Bubba shit came out, people were, now they going back and forth about the issues and what the fuck. But Trump's not in that no more. So now Trump idol loses gas, loses steam. And war is the biggest thing. Like, the White House is losing. Like, Nicki Minaj showing up for them caused her to lose like 10 million, funded everything for them. If this is an attention game, your president is losing attention. What are people paying attention to? That's the bigger question. In absence of all of the other lights and attention gathering, games, everything, losing that viewership or losing that participation, then what are people doing in the meantime? For real, they just all doom scrolling with the same screen time? Just watching each other. That's weird. That's fucking weird. Twilight Zone be damned, but where else is the attention going? People can only complain about the cost of living for so many weeks in a row. It's weird, bro. This a weird fucking year. Trying to play some fucking chords and add 808s to it, boy. I'll tell you that. I'm doing it for the sport though. I love the game. I love the game, man. I'll have a basketball court in my backyard one day. I love the game. But I don't know. This ain't the same. All right, this is my first time here. So it's a vicious cycle. Mr. Nell says screen maxing for sure. Jonathan says 3. King Llewell says gotta laugh to keep from crying. Sometimes emotions make you cry sometimes. God's so good or something. It's interesting, you know. Life will keep you shake things up for you, boy. And if we're just meant to adapt, like we're adaptation maxed species. Only thing you can control. Always, but when it's that fucking intense, when everything's at a fucking standstill, you know you ain't turned the damn switch off. I ain't do it. I ain't tell this shit to really slow down like that. Tell them stop fucking playing around though. Can't even afford to play around now. They can't even fucking afford to play around with music or anything they're doing because that's how connected they are to the corruption. That's the sweet and sour of what this has been. The shit that we, the underworld, elevated from the underworld to the mainstream and, you know, Epstein shit on the money level. Money. Knowing that was connected to the street life, the music life, the gang life, you know, the mafia behind all the music industry. Don't sleep. NBA sports bettors. Those elements is what gave us the laundered capital to peacock and create idols and things like that. Same thing with the printing press and the mag. We're talking about like billionaires. You have to get your own printing. You need your own media. It's like 48 laws of power you don't know about. So you see it, like, you understand, like they controlled that for a long time, and then the internet decentralized it. Once it's decentralized, they can't get that power back. They can't compete on the internet. They're underworld. They're old underworld, old world and underworld, and they're dying too. Like, you know, they're older than boomers now, and nothing that can replace that. What a fucking algorithm and Google and Alphabet Group. Fuck out my face. You're not gonna get that back. And then these kids are raised differently from the previous cycle. That is the most horizontal generation of single mother raised children for the first time in human history. But ain't shit you can do about it. It is what it is. Lo say, it is what it is. Like, those are the people. That's what it feels like. That's what they do. That's how it is. That's how they adjusted. That's how they adapted. You have to adapt to that shit. Crazy story. And then do that musically, because now your music has to adapt to their ears. There's curiosity and exploring the discography of such did not happen. You can tell. They had Beyonce hold them over for 20 years. That's about it, though. You see? So, like, all those people who made those MPC beats and those hard beats, like, yeah, that's for East Coast toxic masculine rappers, whether they're down low or not. The culture itself, the energy outside, they demonized that for 10 years. So like, with you ain't got shit to do with that. You just a beat maker that loves soul samples and hard ass drums and shit. That's gonna cut your whole clientele in goddamn more than half. Cause who the fuck gonna do the math on that? Like, yeah, I want to rap like DMX, or I want to use the topics of, you know, the fucking Illmatic and Blueprint. Whenever again in human history? Where that kid born at? You try pulling back. They tried to do that with Joey Badass. It wasn't enough. Wasn't enough of that. They tried again with J. Cole. Wasn't enough of that. It's one thing to go to school in New York and play on the girls' basketball team, and it's another thing to grow up in New York and play on the boys' basketball team. subtle difference. So yeah, let me leave it alone. Heavily influenced. Peace to the tribe of guys. GJ Georgie Porty, Soul Avery, I see you, man. Peace, 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 peace. TBFB 13, Pod Marie. Other producers, the only ones that still buying. I don't know, man. We just know it's a smaller pool altogether. Now, Spachet, people always say make music for the audience, not other producers. But other producers are some of the only people that still care about new good music. Now, Spachet. Ooh, I love those loops. I'll think about that for a few more seconds. Smash Rooney, Peace of the Gods. The A-Og. If you change it to A minor 9 or A dominant 7, resolves nicely to the D minor 7. Happy New Year to y'all. Shout out to you, Smash Rooney. I might have to, bro. I might have to hit him with that minor 7. That minor 9, actually. That's my shit. It's a Juno synth, even worth it. All the plugins available. A Juno in real life, is it worth it? If you like... I say yes. If you like Juno music. Whatever that genre is, because you know its sound is very particular. I can tell now, and I can always tell the hyper realistic emulations or the real ones are always more solid. For whatever reason, I've never used too much Juno in my sonic palette, because I don't make that era of music, or whatever. For whatever fucking reason, I always lean towards the more virtual analog side of things. But yeah, Junos are legendary. They're the real deal. So if you can find a hardware Juno, I'd get it just because it's a hardware Juno, not because it, you know, not because there's a plugin or something. Like, no, it's a Juno. Has its own history, has its own weight, has its own learning curve. You know, you'll make the same 3 plucks, stabs, and chords, pad type sound, super soft sound, but you know, you won't need anything else to do none of those sounds. I'll tell you that damn much. Get you a few pedals for it. Shit. David Treasure, what's good, DT? Have I ever used Harmony Boom? I've seen one ad for it. I have not used it yet. Real talk. Boom. Tyrone Seller says, is anybody familiar with the patch bases? I have an R8 Craneborn and the ADAT. I don't understand how to connect SSL Alpha 8 expander to it. Do you have to use a patch base in order to do this? You know what I would do, Tyrone? Email them. Email both of them. They're nerds. Email SSL website and ask them. You probably have to go through the little forms and contact and tickets and all that bullshit, but it'd be worth it. And then the Craneborn, that sounds like a smaller company. Same story. Tell them, I got this and I got that. What am I missing? And they'll love to help you. I can almost guarantee it. Cause that's nerdy. Like they're like, oh, okay, he trying to do rocket science. Davey J says, in most cases, people aren't even genuine. They're just trying to ride off the blueprint. But that was from earlier. And then now Spachet said, the loop of don't pander to the market, but yet the market is who you're pandering to, or music production is kind of more like B2B than it is B2C. So what do you do? Like, what's the logic behind that if the producer demographic is the only demographic that cares about your technical and musical progress? Let me ungoofify that. The variables are goofy. First of all, music producers. Making music for the music producers who don't buy music production is a weird story. From the 70s and 80s. He now makes keyboards. He then makes his own VST. He is now the lead designer and big guy behind Omnisphere. He's a music producer though. But we spend like anywhere from $500 to $2,000 with a music producer whose 40 years of sound design experience gives us sounds to make music. Notice that's vertical though. His age, his experience, everything behind it. So like if you're making music for like him or that crowd of producers, what's interesting is if you use his sounds and hears you on radio, he'll call you. But you're not using Omnisphere so that you'll get a phone call from Eric, right? Whereas in today's producer community, we're talking about social media, networking. That's all horizontal. And people are doing keeping up with the Joneses in terms of follows, likes, groups, clicks, sounds, all, you know what I'm saying? We have our own section in the mall, if you will. But what we need to ungoofify is that part, that social part of music production is something that the internet and all of us coming together built. It's a recent phenomenon, but it's on the side though. It's the clubhouse for us. Our keywords, our hashtags, our channels, our little discords, that's its own thing on the side of music. It's not part of the music industry. It's not part of the music scheme. It's not part of music business. It's producer, community, tech, talk, social media, and yes, money travels through that space horizontally, but that's not what music production is. Music production, if you change that variable, is like, oh, you know, sometimes it's the other producers that influences the blah blah blah. Who are you making music for? What are we talking about? You're making music for the people at the Chuck E. Cheese getaway during the summer break, or are you making music for the people that come into your studio to record? Because who are you making music for? If you're a music producer, traditionally you're making music for an artist, and then that's part of a compilation of several songs. That's the producer part. So if you're trying new ideas and new things and all that, and you never get it to an artist to pair to make it a full song, what is that art? What is that called? Because whatever that's called, it's a thing. It's not the same thing that music production, music industry, music business has ever been talking about, and place that as the meat and potatoes of why and what we're doing. I think, and that's social media. That's your phone's fault. That's like, because you see us more than the artist. You see us more than the album release. You see us more than the studio sometimes, right? So I get it. But as long as you make sure that's horizontal, and if you're climbing vertically through music industry space, you are only always ever supposed to be making music for artists. Right? The music you make by yourself in that other degree is until you get good enough or until you have artists horizontally from you. But you have to do the social media thing. You have to build the connection, do the DMs, get the phone call, the FaceTime, be serious, and actually get the work done. But ultimately, if you do that enough in word of mouth through the artist community, which is their own horizontal branch that you're probably not in, all the songwriters and things like that, the ones that still remain, not using AI, you want to, and even the older ones who don't want to be the star no more, but they're still involved for other people. Like, that's who you're making music for, and they already know what type of music they want. They can't find it. They don't know what type beat to put into YouTube. So if you go horizontal to the left and you reconnect with that group, then you fix all the other quirks and problems in the narrative. Like, people always say make music for the audience, but not other producers. But other producers are some of the only people that still care. What are we talking about? You understand? That's why I had to ungoofify that. What are we talking about? That doesn't even make sense no more. Music producers are the only ones that care about the music, so that's like, we gotta pay it. They're part of the audience, but your audience is over there. What do they care about? What rhythms, what tempos, what genres, what chords, what colors are they talking about? They're the ones. Now, keep in mind, a lot of producers are like that. People are emphasizing the horizontal because the vertical ladder is missing. So I understand. Our function is still the same. The math ain't changed. You're still making music for who cares. See, I missed this. These are the real questions, Jam, baby. Yo, LOL. Shout out to Jam. Target audiences and who's responding to social media horizontally. It never is. That commandeering energy and that feeding off of other people is just what it is to be human in a social group. But when you climb on a vertical ladder, man, it's supposed to go from your laptop to an artist's laptop. Social networking. That's your file sharing. You're supposed to be file sharing with artists. You understand? That's it. It's just a refocusing thing. And people have hypermaxed the horizontal producer community connections and not the artist ones. Same thing with artists too. I didn't get a whole bunch of artists reaching out to me at once either. So, but that's because everyone on the internet is connected on their similar interests. They have a different sign in the zodiac, I guess. Crossover. Same thing with the people who do all the goddamn Tubi movies. Like talking about soundtracks and scores and shit like that. Like find out who the fucking Tubi directors are on social media. And then find out who their top 8 is, relatively. People always commenting or retweeting their shit. You can still strategize the same way. For the only opportunity, and it's the same thing with the gold mines and the oils and shit. Like, what's that story? I think I fucking got down. There's always a picture of it. But it's actually a story in Success to a Positive out west. And one was like digging up for a long time and really didn't find nothing valuable. He's getting old, so you want to sell it, move on or whatever. And some stupid ass, dumbass price, right? Like some get out of here price. But the person that bought it, they're trying to dissuade him. Is like, it's not a good investment. He's been here for years. There's no whatever the fuck, gold or oil, whatever it is. And you know how the story goes. As soon as he bought it, as soon as he handed him over them keys, click, 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 2 little digs, and then boom, oil all over that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. Like, the opportunities that people are not seeing is like one click away for someone else. It really is. Whatever opportunities out there. The spirit's still out there. And that's the thing about law. Like, when you understand universal law, like, the fact that you're looking for something tells you what you're looking for is looking for you. And the energy. Meaning, most humans don't have a desire for something that doesn't exist. We're not that type of delusional. You know what I'm saying? It'd be hard for you to imagine, like, exactly, like, what does an alien look like that grew up in a gaseous planet surrounded by water and sulfur in galaxy SR9 arachnid? And you say, like, what do they look like when they're athletic? Your brain don't even try to start that shit for real, unless you're some type of sci-fi nerd, and then even then it's gonna have a point of reference. That's in everything we do, human-wise. So, if you can visualize and imagine the problem or how to get to the other side of something, then the answer, the solutions to that thought is there. The reversal of how to fix that in yourself, though, because everyone does it, but in yourself, the difference is, like, how to cross that hurdle, is that instead of envisioning that I want people to care more than the local community, or I want people to care that don't care yet, instead of framing, that's what you repeat to yourself. You don't repeat to yourself that people don't care. You don't repeat to yourself that you need to find the answer to how to get people to care. That you can talk about in terms of strategy. But like the thing you repeat to yourself, you're repeating yourself the state or the awareness that they do already. And you live in that space. You don't become about myself and all these things. These are all facts. But how do I navigate the facts? Well, I know, this isn't where this is where this is. All right, so I think opportunity is there, and now I see myself with that opportunity. Use all the other shit's for alignment, but you still have to claim ownership to the thing that you're going for, right? Because otherwise, doing all this calculation, debating, and podcasting about the stuff that's not going to help you become wrong with that. But for yourself, like if you're ever wondering, like the mind naturally finds all the problem solution. That's the most beautiful part about that gift. If you know what I'm talking about. That's how everything works out, actually. When that happens, that I can appreciate now being older. Like, yeah, it was the conviction. Like, I looked at it, not like it's a problem. I looked at it like, this is what I want to do. I named them, everything fit that moment, and it gave me the result. And that's just a microcosm to everything else for real. And it's not always like that. That's what makes life fucking interesting, when it doesn't fucking work. Where you're not fucking working, like you can't figure out how to get into alignment fast enough. But I played enough video games to know there's cooldowns and mana. It's not just free. So yeah, these problems in music space, you kind of just have to visualize yourself in the ending point. So if you're a music producer, your ending point is still the same. It's still obvious. You plus an artist in a studio recording music, timeless. Because if you can nail that and manifest that, then the rest of all the steps after that everyone else does is implied. Now that we're done with this scene manifested, maybe we should upload it to Spotify. And then when you do that, then the visualization is the same. Whatever the publication is that you want to see talk about it, you see it already done. And then you send the email to them or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? It's one solution or it's one state at a time. So you flip the state that you're going to next. Like, all right, this is what the problem is. And then now you say, all right, so down the next thing down the trail is this. And then you flip that. But you're mapping that as a producer. Like, you have to go from music, cool ideas, reach out, relationship, rapport, serious, synchronize, to creation, nerd, download the new loops and packs, finish, and whatever it is, ChatGPT to roll out, whatever the fuck you gotta do after that. You know the story? Like, so you have to visualize from wherever step you're currently at. If you ain't stepping up that bitch, you ain't gonna get to the end of it either. Especially if you ain't even imagined the end of it yet. So you gotta make sure in all things, it's not just music, it's in all the things. You can't just be stuck in the, if you always imagine how to start, you'll always just be stuck at starting, basically. I think that's what I'm trying to say. We have hypermaxed how to start something. We haven't really visualized or emphasized what it's like to finish. Yes. We're not from Finland. But if I was, how did I lose that? But if I was, you understand? You gotta emphasize on the dream or the idea being finished. And that is your day-to-day. That is your mantra. And you're going to notice day to day, after several days, maybe even months, that whole time, that's what you were doing. Every step that takes to get there. It's like a GPS. It's weird. The shit you say, your faith and your belief is your GPS in a way. Very bizarre. Because you change a person's belief, you turn a person from happy to scared. You see how it filters everything really fast. So we have a slower filter, our day-to-day filter. You have to change that too. You got to update it at least. Like, oh, I got to filter 2026 different because last year I tried these things and I'm still in the same stare. Same story. Evaluate everything else you did that took you further. Maybe that was preparation for you to take your next step on the stairs too. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no time wasted for real if you're still alive. It's just, for the sake of talking to other people at different parts in their own journey, like, to overstate it. It's not even about time for real. Money fucked up the idea. Everything has a time. Horse gives birth after X amount of months. Elephant, the mouse, the woman is 9 months. It's all different time scale. We be rushing the end of it. Like, we be trying to make shit extra pregnant faster or unpregnant. Like, nah, once it's pregnant, you give it time. And you'll know as soon as it's born. And you look back and like, oh, that took about 9 months. It's not always 9 months. But there's a difference between the energy needed for a child and the energy needed for an elephant. And that's the same thing with our ideas. And more, you know what I'm saying? You're not just moving. Manifestation is not just moving your wishes to you. It goes through other people too. Hundreds of other people move in alignment with getting you there. Atoms and electrons type shit. You know the story. You understand? So when you get into alignment, you're not just getting in alignment with like your conviction. You're getting in alignment with everyone else with a similar one. Because it's a social experiment. In a United States of America, we are in a social quantum entangled economy. As long as there's lunchroom rules, you got the bullies, you got the homecoming king and queen type roles, yeah. Yeah. You don't get to change the color of the school. So wisdom is knowing the rules and knowing how to break them. Because at some point that same rule broke you. That's wisdom. It teaches you the universal law, actually. Life does. Now you ain't gotta go to school for it. Just about all this stupid shit you think, you say, and you try, and the results. That's it. Same thing with music. Like, you have a cool idea for music, put it out. They love it, they hate it. All right, put it out, bitch. Like, what else? That one time, did you call the studio yet? You don't want to get your song mastered by the guy from Studio? I know. It's that damn simple, though. The problem is you gotta deal with people, and most people say no. So you start like that. That's the most beautiful thing about that, because it's a compass, it's a GPS. Most people say no. So when you hear no's, it's not like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. No, nigga, that's normal. Most people say no. That's why the people that say yes are the most valuable. Can you fucking imagine? And most people listen to the people that are in alignment. It's the craziest thing. You see this in families all the time. You see it in your relationship with your girlfriend sometimes. Like, she listens to her friends more than she listens to you. Can you fucking imagine the madness in that science? Like, you don't control people. You control you. But you can get in alignment with people. You're not changing people. You're changing your alignment with them. Same thing on music. What artist gonna say? I make my own beats with AI now. I got a MacBook M4. I got GarageBand. All right, move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think boys and men, like, I think that blue pill thing is way deeper than fucking tricking off on a pretty bitch. I think that spell or that about it. Like, a lot of people placate to social media and Discord. I've noticed in the last 10 plus years, but especially last 10 with people being younger than us but old enough to interact, they always pander. And I don't know if you know what pandering is, like, you know, pimping and shit. Like, he know why he there, she know why he there, and she know why she there. So, like, what is all this extra shit? What's all this extra spin on it? And it's usually because he tried to trick her out of it and try to get her to lower the price or drop the price. Like, you gotta understand everything, math and science. So, like, people pander to economics the same way. They do it to companies, they do it to influencers. You see it in the comments. It's always some pandering, some proposition, some, you know, well, I'm so special if you that I'm pandering to gives, you know what I'm saying? We belong together. Like, it's like how these niggas be talking to these back in the day, these pretty bitches. But they do that in music too. That's how you get ditties. You understand? He wasn't doing that shit by himself. Anything else. You see the pandering. It's really strange. DEI just, you know, put a bow tie on the shit, but they've had us in that kind of weird ass alignment for a long time. We always have to like bend the knee to get America, so to speak. Like, they tell us all the time, like, you gotta shave this and do that. That's part of pandering. You're playing a part. You're presenting yourself as a hoe to be selected or chose up. Like, you yourself is not good enough. And then you approach a woman like that so you can pay her bills and pay her alimony and pay her child support, and one of them kids ain't yours. But pander. Like, you understand, like, if that's the results 70% of the time, why would anyone pander to that? That's not how you would, it's not that you wouldn't. So people have learned, especially in social media, typing style or interaction style, that back and forth style. Like, you have to understand, like, on the internet, people expect you to be a Nigerian scammer too. Because everyone's pandering. Them girls in their stories, they complain about it, but how many damn stories they post every day, knowing what's going to happen? It's the pander virus. They do that to all the producers too. This shit ain't a hot beat, so I fucking play with him. Tell him he got lucky. God is good and he's blessed. Don't start hyping up the hi-hat God in the session. Don't do that. Y'all play too fucking much. It's pandering. Then horizontally, people out-pander each other. I've seen it. People compete with each other for attention for the pandering. They out-pander each other. And I'm like, I don't know these niggas. Like, the fuck's wrong? It's fake. No one does that in real life. Why are you doing that in hyperspace? Like, what point are you trying to get across? And it's attention. You know, people are harvesting. People who can't do it harvest. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, people who are not actually climbing the ladder are going to try to harvest from the people who are. Meaning, like, as soon as you get high enough, they're going to reach in your back pocket and steal your cold coins. They just stay at the tolls. And this is old as the medieval times. Like, unfortunately, those people staying outside them towns had kids. You understand everything. So you're in a mixed cast of characters anyway that ain't actually going to climb that ladder, even if they could anyway. That's not what they do. Everyone say it. You climbing that shit, everyone around you doubting, denying, blah, 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 ain't helping you, Jesus of Nazareth. But as soon as you get to the top, all of a sudden they hit you up and they got their hands out. Because of some memory, some reference point. Like, back in the day when you didn't have it, remember, I said hi to you. I did, man. We shared a cereal bowl. You remember Grandma's good. Like, hey, man, I wonder if I had this idea. It was like, everybody's story like that. So, is that success? Is that money? Or is that people? It's only at the top. Then what is it at the bottom? What is it at the bottom? It's only at the top. What is it at the bottom? Crowded? Crowded by people not climbing the ladder. You know it gets less crowded the more you climb? So if we're at a reset point and it's crowded, everyone can do this, everyone got that, AI can do it faster, then that means we're all on the same step of that ladder. All right, so someone got to start climbing it. And the cool thing, what do we do next period? That means everyone's at the bottom of the next set of stairs. So as long as you start climbing vertically, you're going to get there before they do. You're no longer waiting for the 13th stair where the label's at. You a ChatGPT and a Photoshop document upload away from your own label. So, you know what I'm saying? The shit that's right there at your level, I don't know why you're looking up to do the same shit you can already do. Like, trust me, you can do it yourself. And if the label still wants it, they'll buy you and your label. So you might as well just make more beats. Horizontally, that makes sense. Niggas still buy Pokemon cards. Niggas still unboxing Pokemon. Shit that was like wrapped up in a shrink wrap package 20 years ago. They still buying them bitches for $800. I saw one pack go off for $10,000. I'm like, oh no. Guarantees a Charizard though. Bitch, I had a Charizard already. And the bitch stole my damn Pokemon cards. I ain't really sweat it. Maybe I should have, right? But that was 30 years ago. They still doing the same shit. Looking for the same cards that I already had 30 years ago. So a lot of us are caught up in that spectrum of community. In the nerd space of it, which I love the most because that's the social part. It's that, oh, everyone knows what happens at Comic-Con in the Pokemon booth. Everyone knows Pikachu here. Everyone has their own loadout. Everyone has their own little playthrough. Everyone has their own favorite console. That ain't what that is. That's a whole different game. And that's how big this is. That's how big our game is, that it created a bunch of side missions. Even on the content creator and the plugin developer and all the kids I met along the way, even in their space, that's a whole different horizontal ladder. I noticed something. Evolved way of doing things as a business model, as a conference model, in fact. Ain't got shit to do with what I'm trying to do. And now they hypermax that shit. So even if I wanted to, switch things up and do that shit, it's too late. If it's too late for me, I already the jig is up for everyone else. Because that's not where the game is no more, including the people who hypermax the paywall. Paywall for what? What's behind this wall, sir? Files? I've been getting files for 30 years. I've been getting Charizards for 30 years. What's next? Right? And then when you're looking for new personalities or new energy or new flavor, you're not looking for horizontal. You're looking for the ladder. You're looking for the people coming up to your level. So that has to be Gen Z. Is Gen Z socially or even social media adapted to being themselves, performance or novelty? Or did they all teach them how to all get trophies? Y'all remember that time period? Yeah, that's those kids. Participation trophy kids. And that's not disrespect to them. It's just, you gotta understand what that means. Nobody loses. So how are you gonna sell a paywall? Because the paywall says, hey, if you pay for this, you get to the other side of this ladder and you can pay for it or not. They're not even climbing. You understand? That's why they want it for free. Because they're not going to use it to make the thing that you made it for. They just want the information. That's what's happening in the music space. All that hyper nostalgia, all that maxing, all these podcasts, all these producers, like, these stories are only new to new people. They are in YouTube space. I don't know who the new people are. I'm talking about actual genuine Gen Z producers carrying the baton forward to climb the ladder. To take it further than us. You know, I'm talking about like pass the baton type shit. It's a relay race for real. Where they at? They're not even primed to even talk to an older. So now we have to think about it as millennials and older. Like, so what does the Pokemon convention look like for us for the next 10, 20, 30 years? It's all social. It's all communication. It's all shown at the same time, same place, thinking about the same things, talking about the same things. As long as that keeps happening, it'll automatically quantize itself. But if everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? You know, the money, the jig is up, the labels are done, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do something else. I can't wait to figure out what people do for else. But that's the natural culling effect that happens in these spaces anyway. We've seen this in 2005. It's like what did it say? It's like my third or fourth reset. And I talked about this in the old videos. Like I say, you know, the serious people go away when shit like this happens. Like, the people who are just taking up space and, hey, I'm here. They're like, hey, I got this attention. I got some bots over here. And, hey, I came out of nowhere, but Free Loops got me here. Like, that clout and go away. It wasn't about the attention then. It was about getting paid for the attention. Well, if they're not getting paid and they're not getting the attention, then why are they here? That's most people, dog. That's some shit. It's because you romanticize your dream, your hobby, your passion. They didn't. But you treat something else just like they treat this. Time and space. These are the people who did it for opportunities. Now you're just stuck. Like, all right, what's next? Good. And if Gen Z don't hurry up, then it'll be Gen A. You got about 10 more years. You see? We just gotta hope that Gen A give a fuck about Charizard cards. And usually Gen A and those generations care about Charizards because we do. You understand everything? So as long as we keep the flame burning, it'll be there in 10 years. So between now and then, you know, how do you, for us at our age, at our generation, is about checkpoint. Like, niggas ain't learning how to make disco, dog. Yeah, y'all wasn't outside for the death of disco, I could tell. So it's like the death of disco. Hip hop is kind of like the death of disco. Hip hop as a model, I mean. Hip hop's impact, the people, the culture is always there, but it's going to evolve. It has to. There's a new generation who wasn't there is coming. They're going to do something else. Referencing, hopefully, the best of what we maintain from this point. So for me, I got to do music just to say, to hold space maybe even, on some time capsule shit. Because I'm always going to make the shit that we used to make. Because there's nothing, but I'm not pandering to a label or an artist or anything. I'm just doing what I've been doing for 25 years. Or some Bob Ross shit. You just be painting shit. 18 and I had to do it again? Cooked. But I'm not in a participation trophy class. Shit. I'm a work hard and work harder when you working hard class. And that shit ain't fun. It did not have the rewards, trust me. That work hard shit was a psyop for making someone else rich. But at the same time, I climbed a lot of ladders and a lot of pyramids and got a lot of information from doing so. Cool. It paid me with wisdom that transfers music. Like, it's cross-compatible. Because at the end of the day, it taught me people. Especially when you got to part people with their money. Most people don't think about it like that. It's one thing to be social with people, but it's another thing to be social with people who invest in you or trust. Like, that's a whole different college course, right? And then horizontally, people competing with you, all the little weird shit that people do. And you have to maintain it at that level and not the street level, not the lower ladder level, right? Not the playground level. You gotta deal with it in the hyperspace. It's a weird story, man. It's a weird story. I mean, but 2026 is wide open. But like everything is like, okay, who's gonna be the first kid at the playground and who's gonna bring the basketball every day? Until 3 kids show up. And then you know how that shit go. By the summer, it'd be 12 or more. But someone has to show up and someone has to have a basketball. Someone has to be willing to stand out there Sunday, bored as fuck, shooting, making all that damn noise for at least an hour or so. And if no one comes out the first time, you'll come out there the next Sunday. So people start going like, whoa, there's always a kid playing basketball on Sunday. And after 3 or 4 weeks, and then, you understand, and all of a sudden it's a thing. Niggas is playing basketball on Sunday, so having so much fucking fun, they're starting to come Saturday too. You understand? That's everything. That's everything. That's everything. That's everything that deals with humans. That's why it's always the same. It's because it's us. You know what I'm saying? It's not esoteric. It's just humans are just follow the leader, sheep. Energy wise, we're social. We like being grouped together too, but certain shit we can't group up. We can't coagulate on the same shit musically, taste wise, culture wise no more. We have 2 whole new generations with us trying to get room. We got all the the splintered fractions and disappointments and dreams and cost of living. That shit's in flux, but it'll find stability. Water does. You understand? So like it hasn't. Nothing has stabilized yet. So I'm telling you what time it is. It's preparation now. And half that preparation is right here. Like, despite what it looks like, I see this. I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to lock in on this. And I know these are fundamental, timeless things that will help me get better no matter what. So until it's more clear what I need to do, if there's fundamentals to work on, then fuck it. Work on the fundamentals. Shit. Nigga, I need to learn how to play more chords anyway, no matter what year it is. Feel me? I'm going to want better sounds anyway. I don't care what year it is. You understand? So as long as you keep that part and you're still inspired and every once in a while you hear a new sample flip or a new chord in your head, you're on the right path. The path you don't want to be on is when you're just doing it just to do it like everyone else. So they can't lose it. They're just copying something, copy and pasting, whatever, however they do it. It might be natural. I don't fucking know. They don't last long, I notice. So yeah. You'll see him. You'll see him parked on the side of the road as you go, as you death scroll. You'll see him parked on the side of the road. You see everyone else up just doing the same thing, minding their business, posting whatever they want to post, just let you know they're still there. And we're old enough in this space enough for that to exist. So they had the same similar shit in Japan. Respect thing, especially amongst men. Well, niggas, the little tiger niggas in the Skyrim, like Tajit has wares ass niggas. You don't want to see them. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign that people still care, though. Right? The people you see doing the thing still is proof. That's proof of people who still care. Right? They're still doing it. They still care enough to post it. Even if they try to be cute and glamorous. They care enough about this shit to be cute and glamorous in this. So big it seemed, that illusion part of it, yeah, that shit's cooked. But that was new too. There was a time before that where it wasn't like that. I remember how long it took to get Time Stretch. So yeah, revolutions. I say hold the door on it though. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm not over it. I just don't have the polarity of like, ooh, this is my $100,000 idea for Interscope. I don't fucking know. Oh, ooh, wait till this plugin update comes out. I don't know. But fundamentally, before any of this shit existed, I was just some little kid on Fruity Loops clicking in boxes to make music. Yeah, I can do that. That's how you know if it's yours. The younger ones, Jonathan says message. LS716, shout out to you, bro. Noel's in the building. JPX, see I missed this. 3 a.m. research replay crew, shout out to Noel, man. Shout out to everybody that made it on the stream, the first stream of the year, man. January 1st, 2025 to 20. God damn, it's 1 now, right? 2, 2, 4, 6, 10. 1, 1, 1. Oh Lord. No wonder. 3. Yeah, so shout out to you guys for making it to 2026, man. Yeah. The Sundays don't get no spicier than this, man. We in it now. And if we'll get out. Fuck. The time we're waiting for is for the money to be poured back into the machine. The water to be poured back in. That's all. Needs an oil change. Waiting for a new oil. Waiting for the money. To see where the money's going to go. Where the opportunities, where the dreams, where the expansion is going to happen. Because the songs and ideas are going to have to expand other universes. So we're looking for like what universe of culture, flavor, style, and influence we want to light up. That hasn't been decided yet, as far as I can tell. They're hesitating. They got bigger issues. I know that's right. You're fucking president. So, we'll see. Jonathan Lee says, much appreciated to all y'all in the chat and the builds. Jan says, I remember when you couldn't find beats. Now there's beats everywhere. Now it's hard to find good mixing engineers. Exactly. You see the triangle, the axis always shifting. Quality, speed, access. Like it's always... But we the eye in the middle of the pyramid, so I ain't even trying, I ain't even, we're mixing. Ha ha ha. Beats, huh? What kind of beat do you need? Give me 5 minutes. Direction though. People. I'm people away. I'm not a plugin away. I'm not an iLock away. I'm not a password away. I'm not X amount of dollars away per se. I'm people away. I'm useful. I know how to engineer and I know how to make beats. You know? I will fit in where that skill set is useful. People. You gotta find, you're modular. We're Euromod, right? We're modular. So you gotta find the people who need what you offer them. Even if it's not you making the beats, it might be something totally different in the music space. So let's say you start talking about, you know how to record and do all that other shit. You might find out that you find, like shit, if you got me recording all this shit, mixing all this shit, I'll just remix it when I go home. The fuck? Killed 13 birds with one idea. If like that's what the old scheme or the old vision was and how this shit used to get done at its best, then I would still prioritize working with people. I would still prioritize creating sacred spaces for music. And just music. I would still prioritize the best gear that you can afford within reason of what you're trying to accomplish. I would still emphasize mastery of the keyboard or mouse or whatever the fuck. Niggas ain't mastered that shit yet. So the time would have been used on that shit anyway. But in terms of like the dream, the inspiration that Jones is and what's going on in the bigger space, it's like UK Garage for real, my nigga. This is Acid House in Chicago for real, my nigga. They're making that shit. They didn't give a fuck what nobody was talking about. He made that shit for his people. They had their own little club. They had their own little hole in the wall. And he brought his little cassette tapes in, his turntables, and his little drum machine, whatever the fuck was going on. And the people were just there fucking vibing. It's a spiritual experience. Some are high, some are drunk. Some just want some bad bitches. You know what type of energy that is? Play. Dun, 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 dun. That wasn't about nobody else. That's how I felt in that room. Yeah. Music implies there's a sacred space. The big bells, big organs, it implies sacred spaces. So right now, music 3D interactive spaces easily and quickly for the music, as quick as we make music. But that really didn't... I've seen some people do it, but looking at it on the outside looking in, it doesn't catch my attention. The way it's implemented currently. But like now at my age, I would still go to beat battles. But I'd be player about it. I'd fund it. I'd be like, you know, old head, mgthefuture, Machine Masters, blah, 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 and just let me play 3 of my beats regardless, and I'll go sit down and listen to everybody else. Like, as you mature in this shit, you reconfigure your parameters. You have to. I would go to the beat battles to be the support of the beat battles. You understand? Like sacred spaces. Like none of that shit should have changed. Beat stars and all that shit never replaced the real thing. It should be the extra thing you do to get better, so that when it's time to do the real thing again, you've had practice. It wasn't supposed to be the main course because someone made $10,000 there. Like, yeah, once. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the artists. Like, they should want to perform. Like, artist implies performer. Because every artist ain't a writer. But every artist is a performer. Like, you gotta cut this shit out. So you working with the social introverts who think this shit a cosplay lifestyle because they're safe in a living room with an iPhone camera. You gotta prioritize your time with the real artists. That's the problem too, right? We had a nice decade of people who weren't artists. They were brands, they were ideas, they were motifs, they were trends, they were Joneses. They weren't artists. They weren't performers. So if you readjust your Amazon filters like, oh, I'm looking for an artist that's also a performer and not just a person who wants to be an artist, you can pick that before you even do it. It's like dating, man. It's like getting a girlfriend for real. It's like dealing with women for real. It's like Tinder for real. It's the same fucking story. It's humans. We had just gender queered all the participation. Everyone is competing but not competing at the same ladder level, and that's the lie. That's that communism, socialism spell lie. Like, nah, that's not how life works anyway. So that's not how it's about to work because we think that way. And it takes everyone time to not argue and go back and forth with the idea. But in reality, people are still climbing the ladder. Like, whether or not they're paying attention, they still up there. And before you know it, you're like, damn, Elon made it to $1 trillion? You understand? It's like Mario Kart, man. That's the banana peels on the ladders, man. That socialism shit, that political shit is just banana pills for real. You know the motherfuckers don't give a fuck. They do it for what? Money. All right then. And unfortunately for us, the artists, the hobbyists, and the lovers of things in life, we have all the pure makings of a decent society, but we're in a corporation. Just remember that. Win or loss. Like, it ain't you. You understand what I'm saying? Win or lose, it wasn't you. You understand what I'm saying? That's why alignment is critical. Alignment is not control. Alignment is letting the water does what it does and allowing it to get you to where you want to go. But you're not the ocean. You're not the water. You're not the source. It isn't you. Win or lose, it isn't you. You can only do the best you can fucking do. But I find that time, perseverance, endurance, and seriousness is rewarded for doing such. Seriousness is rewarded. So if you take this serious and you approach it serious enough, the time, the waves, you know what I'm saying? You'll get the hang of it and you'll understand, oh, I'm gonna move this way. And sometimes you don't even have to think about it. It's gonna tell you when to go. When you start from scratch on any level, like, all right, how do I start going up? That's the hardest step, getting the momentum going. But once you start doing anything, whether it's remixing, recording, getting outside, putting together events, whatever the fuck, trying to build another Discord with serious, whatever the fuck you think it is, like, that momentum of the idea that starts momentum, yeah, that's sacred, but that's not where the magic is. The magic happens when you're not paying attention to that shit no more because it's just happening. You almost take it for granted. You're just in the moment doing things. And you're going to realize that the things that you're doing are informed by your environment. You're not even thinking about, well, what should I do? You know, you're like, I got a thought. I need to A, B, and C, and D. Wow, if I take up these things that presented itself to me in this reality and put it into these slots, I might be able to make something of it. And then what do you know? Finish your breakfast. I completed it. Oh, would you fucking know? It happened again. More ideas just out of fucking nowhere, leading me down a particular path. Alignment. It's like ocean current, like wind current. Same story. Same story. Everybody else is in the way. Everyone else is a kite. Everyone else is a boat. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, how you guys doing? Anyway, I gotta get to this fucking island before 9. Everyone ain't gotta get there in time. So I trust that that mechanism of humanity is consistent no matter how they paint the socialism, political, economics. Humans ain't going to change that damn much. Not in our generation. We'll die before we do. That's a fixed variable. This is very morbid, but it's very true. Humans are locked in. This generation, that is. I don't know about 100 years from now, but right now we locked in. This is what it is. These are the variables: the narcissism, the survival mode, the masking, the dealing with colonialization. It'll get old soon, but we're already molded by it. As a program, you're not going to get nothing new. Only out of the new people. Right? You ain't going to get nothing new. That's what the women are going to run into with dating, right? See, the macro, it's the same story. They dated all the guys. Not all the guys in numbers, but all the guys. All the prototypes. The 1990s guy, the 2000s guy, the 2010s guy, the 2020s guy. There's no other guys. They gave them all a try, trust me. The next guy is not going to be a different type of guy. Generation. So we have been made to sit still, get silent, and look at, free, like Simon says, or red light, green light, and everyone stop and looking at where they at. That's kind of like what it is socially. It's like looking, waiting to happen. It's gonna happen socially though. You'll notice in people's attitudes and parameters. Because like I said, I ain't figured it all out yet, but there's some NPC shit going on. But for me, and those who don't, who get the message or the download, then I'll wait for the NPCs to clean it up. The fuck? I ain't break it. I'm way over here minding my business. I'm an observer, a watcher, and I'm just trying to make music. Everything else got me fucked up. It's 2026. Ain't nothing changed. So yeah, man. So hopefully to a year of a lot of music, ideas, attempts, fails. I look forward to all of it. It's progress along this ladder. Shout out to DJ Georgie Porgy. MG equals relentless determination, man. Plasma status riding the ether. I wish, man. I get tired too. This shit ain't easy. Not after all these years. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some peaks. But for me, it was never my peak. I never got to my peak. So my evenness about it is because I wasn't given a whole bunch at once. I experienced a whole bunch, but it was time stretched. So instead of it looking like I experienced everything vertically, I experienced a lot in a diagonal. Like I took a few steps at a time. So looking back on all the time of that and what I've gotten out of it, when I've given back to it, and what I've learned and where it's put me right now in terms of making this video currently, I could have only made this video from this framing had I done that for 25 years. If I didn't start something 25 years ago, I wouldn't be here. Any of the dimensions, actually. That's how crazy you love nothing. Then you realize how not important those choices are. I know, I'm going to figure out the riddle eventually. Then I felt like I did the only thing I could do. Everything I did was the only thing I can do. That's the only thing I did. The only things I can do. So, if that formula is true for 40 years, hopefully it's true for 40 more. But yeah, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Shout to Reeds. I'm on the Mac M4. You see how it's food for thought, man. Appreciate you guys showing up. Glad you guys in good health. Keep the beats up, man. It's your boy MG the Future. Until next time, peace.